The way rabbits reproduce is fascinating, and I would love to tell you all about it. So rabbits have a system very unlike ours. Humans have a cycle of around 28 days, and during that cycle, our body prepares an egg, releases that egg, hopes that it gets fertilized, and if it does get fertilized, it embeds that egg into our uterine lining for gestation. The system that humans and many mammals use is called spontaneous ovulation. Rabbits do something called induced ovulation. Rather than have a hormonal cycle where an egg is prepared and then released in hopes that it will be fertilized, rabbits release an egg after they've been mated. It's the mating that induces the female rabbit to drop a batch of eggs. A rabbit's gestation period is about 31 days, so it only takes about a month for a rabbit to grow a litter of baby rabbits inside of her. Baby rabbits actually are called kits. This is Frida. This is our male rabbit, Lola. A male rabbit is called a buck. A female rabbit is called a doe. So Frida's actually pregnant right now, and she's due to have her litter of kits on April 11th. So that's pretty soon. That's like 11 days away. Right towards the end of her pregnancy, she will prepare a nest to keep her babies safe. So what she does is she collects nesting materials. And as the farmer, I'll provide her a lot of straw and hay. So this is their box right here, and it's actually filled with straw already. But what you'll see her do is probably take some hay, and she'll fill her mouth up, run inside of the box here, and start building a nest. And it looks kind of like a tunnel almost. And then once her nest is built, she'll actually start pulling fur out of her own body, and she uses that fur to line her nest. And it's the fur from her own body that keeps her babies warm because they're born without fur. Typically, rabbits do this kind of the day before that they're going to have their babies. Now, because rabbits are induced ovulators, what can happen is they can have their babies and immediately get pregnant again because they don't have to wait for a cycle of hormones to prepare and release an egg ready for fertilization. So a regular litter of kits is somewhere around 8 babies. And if your rabbit were to get pregnant again immediately, then a month later, she'll have another litter of kits. Okay, so once the doe has had her babies, the doe actually will only visit the nest twice a day to feed them. And because they only visit so seldom, rabbit milk is highly caloric and fatty. The reason rabbits only visit their nest twice a day is because they're trying to avoid any predators finding the nest and destroying it. The baby rabbits will grow, and after about a week, they will have some peach fuzz all over their body. After about 10 days, they'll start to open their eyes and their ears will unfold. And about 2 weeks after they're born, they will start to venture a little bit outside of their nest. A doe will nurse her babies for about 4 weeks. And after about 4 weeks, they don't need to be nursed anymore and they'll just be eating on their own. In the wild, they could venture away from their mom and be on their own when they're 4 to 6 weeks old. Rabbits come into maturity as early as 3 to 4 months old, as late as like 6 to 8 months old, and that depends on the breed that you have. So smaller breeds will come into maturity earlier, larger breeds will come into maturity later. So because rabbits are induced ovulators and they can get pregnant very quickly, because their gestation period is very short, it's only a month, because they can get pregnant again right away, because they come into maturity so young at 3 to 4 months old, it's because of all of these factors that rabbits are known to breed like rabbits. I hope you found that interesting. I find it very fascinating. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in the comments so I can try to answer them. Or if you know anything about rabbits, leave it in the comments so that we can all learn a little bit more.